Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel where we discuss everything dividends. Are you looking to increase your annual dividend income? Well, high yield dividend stocks are a great place to start. And in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 3 high yield dividend stocks that yield a dividend of 4% or higher. So make sure you stay tuned and let's dive into the video. As always, everything discussed in this video is for educational and informational purposes only, so please perform your due diligence before investing in any stock or ETF mentioned in the video today. Dividend stocks come in all shapes and sizes. You have some that pay a very low yield as they may still be in growth mode and looking to reinvest in the company. You'll have your more moderate dividend stocks that maybe it's more of a mature company. Think of a Coca-Cola or a Johnson & Johnson with a dividend yield in that 2 to 3% range. And then you have high yield dividend stocks. And what I think or consider a high yield dividend stock is something that yields 4% or more. A high yield dividend stock is going to have much lower dividend growth. But then the final type of dividend stock, the one that I invest in the most, is dividend growth stocks. But the great thing about dividend growth stocks is they can be in any of these categories. You could have a dividend growth stock that may offer a low yield right now. Think of something like Visa, where they have a yield that's less than 1%, but they are growing their dividend an average of 17+% every single year. Or you could have something that's in the moderate range, and they may be growing their dividend 15 or so percent. Anything that's growing their dividend greater than 10% or more, I consider a dividend growth stock. And we will look at a high yield dividend growth stock that is one of my favorite dividend stocks to invest in and one of my top positions in my portfolio. So with that being said, let's take a look at 3 high yield dividend stocks for you to consider for your dividend portfolio. The first high yield dividend stock for you to consider for your portfolio is one of my favorite, and I consider it the investor's trifecta. And they are AbbVie, stock ticker ABBV. Taking a look at AbbVie, you can see that over the past year, shares have increased 30%, and currently it trades at a market cap of $248 billion. The company currently offers a dividend that barely meets my threshold of 4%, as the yield is currently 4.01%. But as I mentioned, I love this stock because it is what I consider an investor's trifecta. You're going to have high yield. You have the potential for strong share appreciation. As we've seen over the past year, shares have increased 30%, which is pretty sizable for a dividend paying stock with a high yield, but you're also going to get dividend growth. So when you look here, we already saw that the dividend yield is 4.01%, but you can see that over the past 5 years, AbbVie has increased their dividend an average of 17, nearly 18% per year. The company also has a low payout ratio and strong free cash flows, which should continue to fuel this growing dividend in the years ahead. You can see on the chart here how the dividend has grown over the years, starting back from January 17th all the way up to where they are now. In terms of valuation, AbbVie trades at a forward PE ratio of 9.9, and over the past 5 years, AbbVie has traded closer to 10.6, so still looking at an undervalued, even with the share price appreciation we've seen over the past few months. Looking at the enterprise value to EBITDA on a forward-looking basis, you can see that over the past 5 years, AbbVie has traded closer to 10.37, and they currently trade at a 9.86 in terms of the EV to EBITDA, which again shows that it is slightly undervalued. AbbVie is an awesome stock to own, and it has been an awesome stock over the years, as they own the #1 selling drug in the world in Humira, but they are beginning to lose patent protection. They've already lost it over in Europe, and in 2023 they will lose that protection here in the United States, and more biosimilars will be able to come on board for what Humira does. But the thing with AbbVie is they have a very diversified portfolio, one that they've built in-house and one that they've acquired. In the past few years, they acquired Allergan, which closed in 2020. They're the leader in Botox, but they also have a strong pipeline of other products coming online as well. The company already has 2 drugs, Rinvoq and Skyrizi, that are the next blockbusters. But the company isn't just a one-stop shop like it has been in the past. Humira used to carry over 65% of total revenues. That is down below 40% as of the latest quarterly results. And Rinvoq and Skyrizi are beginning to carry theirs, along with a whole array of other products that are coming on board. So things you want to look for, especially with high yield dividend stocks, is this yield sustainable? So we've already looked at the payout ratio. We know the company has strong free cash flows are two things you want to look at, and increasing revenues. AbbVie is a great dividend stock. Whatever type of stock you're trying to think of, AbbVie fits the bill. They're the investors trifecta. You got 30% share growth. You got a yield over 4%, and you're getting dividend increases of 18%. It literally checks off all the boxes for a dividend investor. The second high yield dividend stock for you to consider for your dividend portfolio is Philip Morris, stock ticker PM. Now, I understand that this investment isn't for everybody. Some people want to say, hey, it's a sin stock and I don't invest in that. It's a tobacco company. I don't invest in that. That is completely fine. If that's the case, then just skip this one and move on to the next one. But for those of you that don't mind investing in a company like Philip Morris, then let's stay tuned. Globally, we are currently going through this transition where more people are actually thinking about health or thinking about the environment. You can think of big tobacco companies are decreasing in popularity, or big oil, as we go more to renewable energies, are decreasing in popularity. So I understand that. But the thing with Philip Morris is they sell nicotine, and people are addicted. People that have had it before are addicted to nicotine. With addictions also comes pricing power, and that is something that Philip Morris owns. Now, you may be more familiar with the company here in the United States if you are listening from the United States, as Philip Morris and Altria Group, what's a stock ticker MO, used to be considered the same company. Philip Morris broke off and they handle the international market. So if we get regulations here in the United States, Altria will be the one that's impacted the most. Whereas Philip Morris, they sell to over 180 different countries. Philip Morris fully understands that people are looking to try and do things in a healthier manner. Nonetheless, Philip Morris is incentivized to continue to push these alternatives because governments are seeing that they are reduced risk and they are the healthier options than what there's been before. Philip Morris is transforming as a company, but many still refuse to see it, and that is completely fine. If that is on your conscience, I do not want to push you to invest in a stock like this. As it currently sits, Philip Morris trades with a market cap of $161 billion, and they currently have a dividend that yields 4.83%, which has a payout ratio of 81% currently. Now, 81% is a little bit high. It is definitely on the higher side, but in terms of growth, we still have strong free cash flows, but in terms of growth, they're only growing the dividend 3.5%. And that's what I mentioned at the forefront. With higher yield stocks, AbbVie is I guess a unicorn, we can call it. But here with higher yield dividend stocks, it's just how the cookie crumbles. You're not going to get higher growth all the time with higher yield stocks. But in terms of dividend growth, albeit lower growth, they have increased the dividend for 13 consecutive years now. Looking at valuation, Philip Morris, to me, is trading at a very reasonable price. Quickly looking at valuation, you can see that Philip Morris trades at a forward earnings multiple on a non-GAAP basis of 17 times when compared to their 5-year average of 17.2 times. However you look at it, Philip Morris sells a product that consumers want. They sell a product all around the world. They are the alternative to Altria Group here in the US, except they have the entire international market. So if you're looking for that international exposure with a pretty safe dividend yield, over 4%, they've increased their dividend 13 years in a row now, take a look at Philip Morris. The third high yield dividend stock we will discuss today is WP Carey. Stock ticker WPC. WP Carey is a REIT, or a real estate investment trust. And for those of you unfamiliar with what a REIT is, I will put my latest video up here describing what REITs are and how they have different tax benefits and why they have higher yields. For those of you that do understand what REITs are, let me continue here. WP Carey is a very diversified portfolio. When looking deeper into their portfolio here, you can see that they have properties that are in the industrial sector, the warehouse sector, office, retail, self-storage, and other sectors as well. The industrial and warehouse sector account for roughly 50% of the entire portfolio. But what's unique when it comes to WP Carey is they are priced more like a retail REIT. But looking at this chart here, you can see that retail only accounts for 17% of the total annualized base rent that the company collects each year. So why price it like a retail REIT? And a retail REIT is something like Realty Income or Store Capital. But they're not just a retail REIT. They're actually more like an industrial REIT. When you think of industry properties and warehouse, which could be similar, you think of something like Stag Industrial or PLD with Prologis. Both of these are industrial REITs and they are trading at much higher valuations than WP Carey is. So with that, I see tons of upside opportunity with this REIT. Looking further at the company's portfolio, you can see that they have over 1,200 properties. They collect over $1.2 billion in annualized base rent, and they rent out their properties to 358 different tenants. As of the company's latest earnings call, they have a occupancy rate of 98.4%, and 99% of all of their leases have rent step-ups or escalators, meaning that every year as a tenant, you're going to have to pay a higher rent than you did the previous year. Now, how these rents or these escalators are set up are different for each and every tenant. But let me pull up this chart here, which we see that over 99% of their leases have contractual rent increases. But let's take a look at how they're broken up. You can see that 36% of their leases are fixed. What this means is they just have a fixed amount. Next year, you're going to pay 2% higher. And the year after that, you're going to pay another 2% and then 3%. It's just a fixed amount that won't change. But the unique thing here, and where I see a ton of value for WPC investors, is the fact that 39% and 20%, so 59, nearly 60% of all of those leases are tied to CPI, which is inflation. What have we seen a huge step up in over the past 3 or 4 months? Inflation. Inflation was raging in December with a CPI rating over 7%. So this means that 39% is uncapped. It is simply tied to CPI, and there's no cap where some of these leases have built in that says, hey, if CPI goes over a certain amount, you can only raise our rent X%. That's what the difference is between uncapped and capped. During this entire pandemic, WPC management has focused on coming out of it stronger. They had high rent collections throughout the pandemic, but they also had record transaction volumes. They were acquiring properties left and right to build a stronger portfolio for the future. In fact, in the third quarter alone, the company made $1.2 billion worth of transactions just in that one quarter. Taking a look at the chart, you can see that WP Carey has increased 10.6% over the past year, really trading range bound over really the past 6 months or so. The company currently trades at a market cap of $14 billion, and they have a dividend yield of 5.59%. Next, let's take a look at valuation, where I believe there is ample opportunity for long-term investors to get involved here. On a forward-looking basis, remember with REITs, you don't want to look at EPS or price to earnings. You want to look at funds from operation, FFO. One up that is adjusted funds from operation. Think of this as the REIT equivalent to adjusted earnings per share. So if we're looking at AFFO here, let's take a look at the price to AFFO on a forward-looking basis. WPC trades at 15.25 times, and over the past 5 years, they have traded closer to 20 times. Now, I'd mentioned from the get-go is the valuation is really where I believe WP Carey has ample opportunity, as they're trading closer to a retail REIT. When you look at something like Realty Income, they trade at a 20 times FFO. When you look at Store Capital, they trade around 18 times. But WP Carey isn't just a retail REIT. They're a diversified REIT, and they have more industrial and warehouses similar to a Prologis, which trades at 30 times multiple when looking at FFO. So at the very least, I believe WP Carey should at least be trading at a multiple similar to Realty Income. That's the floor I see. So there's multiple expansion in a company like WP Carey. They have the leases that are tied to CPI, which we have seen huge inflation over the past few months, and really 6 months or so. And that's not going to slow down anytime soon. The Fed is trying to combat that, so that is just a temporary boost, but it is a tailwind for the company moving forward. So you have a low multiple, you have a tailwind, you have a diversified portfolio, a strong management team. So definitely check out WP Carey for your dividend portfolio moving forward. So there you have it, folks. 3 of my top high yield dividend stocks for you to consider to increase your annual dividend income. Also take a look at my top REITs for 2022, and also take a look at my dividend portfolio, which I laid out in this video here for all to see. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please give us a thumbs up, hit, smash, like, caress that like button, as it is huge for the growth of this channel moving forward. Again, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.